Good morning, everybody. Today we are going to discuss about lipid lowering drugs. This lipid lowering drugs also called as hypolipidemic drugs. Lipid lowering drugs also called as hypolipidemic drugs. In that we are going to discuss about introduction, what is the need of study and their aims and objective, pathology, treatment and conclusion. So what is hypolipidemic drugs or lipid lowering drugs? In hyperlipidemias, what will happen is hyperlipidemias are the condition in which the concentration of cholesterol or triglycerides carrying lipoproteins in the plasma is elevated above normal. What is that? Hyperlipidemias are the condition in which the concentration of cholesterol and triglycerides carrying lipoprotein in the plasma are elevated above normal condition. So in hyperlipidemias, it is a condition in this situation, plasma proteins are elevated above normal. Increase in lipoprotein can hasten the development of atherosclerosis. Increase in lipoprotein can hasten the development of atherosclerosis and a risk factor for myocardial infarction. So lipids and proteins form complexes called lipoproteins. Lipids and proteins form complexes. This complex is called as lipoproteins, and these circulate in the blood vessels. So there are 4 types of lipoproteins are there: low density lipoprotein, high density lipoprotein, very low density lipoprotein, and chylomicrons. There are 4 types of lipoproteins are there. What are they? LDL, HDL, VLDL, and chylomicrons. Okay. So these are the drugs which lower the level of lipid and lipoproteins in the blood. The hypolipidemic drugs have attracted considerable attention because of their potential to prevent cardiovascular disease by reducing the accelerated atherosclerosis in hyperlipidemic individuals. Okay, these are the drugs which lower the level of lipid and lipoprotein in the blood. The hypolipidemic drugs have attracted considerable attention because of their potential to prevent cardiovascular disease by retarding the accelerated atherosclerosis in hyperlipidemic individuals. So goals of the therapy. Goals of the therapy is to prevent atherosclerosis, that is the presumptive cause of coronary heart disease and stroke. To prevent the atherosclerosis, that is the presumptive cause of coronary heart disease and stroke. Although treatment of hyperlipidemia cause slow physical regression of plaque. Although treatment of hyperlipidemia causes slow physical regression of plaque over the course of year, there is a documented decrease in acute coronary events in the first few months following vigorous treatment, that is thought to be chiefly due to decreased inflammatory activity of macrophages. That is chiefly due to decreased inflammatory activity of macrophages, and prevent acute pancreatitis and retard development of xanthomas. And they prevent acute pancreatitis and retard development of xanthomas. So plasma proteins. Plasma proteins are cholesterol, triglycerides, phospholipids, and fatty acids. And they are transported as lipoproteins, hydrophobic lipid, triglycerides, hydrophilic lipids, and cholesterol, phospholipids. Plasma proteins are cholesterol, triglyceride, phospholipids, and free fatty acids. And they are transported as lipoprotein, core hydrophobic lipids, triglycerides, hydrophilic lipids, cholesterol, and phospholipids. So what are the complications of hyperlipidemia? The two main complications of hyperlipidemia are acute pancreatitis and atherosclerosis. In that, atherosclerosis is a metabolic disorder characterized by faulty transport and distribution and deposition of lipids, causing arterial lumen occlusion. They cause arterial lumen occlusion. You can see here, this is a plaque in the arterial wall. So there is a narrowed lumen. So consequent atherosclerosis, some other diseases have been observed. Consequent to atherosclerosis, some other diseases have been observed, such as ischemic heart disease, myocardial infarction, and cerebrovascular disease. So these are the complications of hyperlipidemia. The person who is having lipoproteins more than normal level. So these are two complications of hyperlipidemias, that is acute pancreatitis and atherosclerosis. And atherosclerosis is a metabolic disorder characterized by faulty transport, distribution, and deposition of lipids. They're causing arterial lumen occlusion. Here you can see, okay, deposition of lipid causing arterial lumen occlusion. So there is a narrowing of the arterial wall, and this causes myocardial infarction. And so consequent to atherosclerosis, some other diseases have been observed, such as ischemic heart disease, myocardial infarction, and cerebrovascular disease. Lipoprotein introduction. Lipoproteins are molecules that contain lipid and proteins known as apoprotein. Lipoproteins are macromolecules that contain lipid and proteins, then known as apoprotein. Apoprotein provides structural stability to lipoprotein. Lipoproteins are macromolecules that contain lipids and proteins. Macromolecules that contain lipid and proteins, they are known as apoprotein. And apoprotein provides structural stability to lipoprotein and act as ligand for lipoprotein receptor interactions, are cofactor in enzymatic process that regulate lipid metabolism. So hydrophobic lipids are carried by lipoproteins in aqueous environment of plasma. Hydrophobic lipids are carried by lipoproteins in aqueous environment of plasma. So lipoproteins. Major lipoprotein families are 5 major lipoprotein families contain cholesterol in differing proportion, namely chylomicrons, very low density lipoproteins, intermediate density lipoprotein, low density lipoprotein, high density lipoprotein. These are major lipoprotein families. There are 5 major lipoprotein families. They contain cholesterol in differing proportions, namely chylomicrons, very low density lipoprotein, intermediate density lipoprotein, and low density lipoprotein, and high density lipoprotein. They classified on the basis of density, triglycerides, which makes them less dense, and apoproteins, which makes them more dense. They are classified on the basis of density. So triglycerides, which make them less dense, apoprotein, which makes them more dense. So this is exogenous and endogenous pathways. In exogenous pathway, cholesterol and triglycerides absorbed from the gut and transported as chylomicrons. In exogenous pathway, cholesterol and triglyceride absorbed from the gut and transported as chylomicrons. They're transported as chylomicrons. And they are hydrolyzed to chylomicron remnants by the action of lipoprotein lipase, and free fatty acid are released, which are taken up by muscle and adipose tissue. So in exogenous pathway, what will happen is cholesterol and triglycerides absorbed from the gut and transported as chylomicrons, and they are hydrolyzed to chylomicron remnants by the action of lipoprotein lipase, and free fatty acid are released, which are taken up by the muscle and adipose tissue. The chylomicron remnants are transported to liver. The chylomicron remnants are transported into liver. In endogenous pathway, cholesterol and triglyceride from the liver are carried as very low density lipoprotein. In endogenous pathway, cholesterol and triglyceride from the liver, they are carried as very low density lipoprotein to the muscle and adipose tissue. Here, the triglycerides in very low density lipoprotein are hydrolyzed and free fatty acid are released. Thus, intermediate density lipoprotein and then low density lipoprotein are formed. The action of lipoprotein lipase. Cells have LDL receptor, and LDL is taken up into the cell. When the LDL plasma level rise, LDL is taken up by the scavenger macrophages. In this process, they are oxidized, and such LDL is atherogenic. Okay, atherogeneous formation. LDL is taken up by the scavenger macrophages. In this process, they are oxidized, and such LDL is atherogenic. They form atherogenic plaques in arterial wall. So, liver and intestine, they form nascent HDL, high density lipoprotein. Cholesterol from macrophages and other peripheral cells esterified by lecithin cholesterol acetyl transferase, LCAT, lecithin cholesterol acetyl transferase, and mature high density lipoproteins. HDL cholesterol ester can be transferred by cholesterol esterol transfer protein from HDL to VLDL and chylomicrons. HDL cholesterol can be selectively taken up by the liver via scavenger receptor class 1 protein. This is HDL metabolism and reverse cholesterol transport. So LDL cholesterol, low density lipoprotein, is atherogenic, and HDL low, high density lipoprotein is protective. Low density lipoprotein modified by oxidation and form cell formation, and they cause arterial lesion. HDL reverse cholesterol transport. Excess cholesterol is acquired from cells and are transported to the liver for excretion. High density lipoprotein reverse cholesterol transport. It will reverse the cholesterol in reverse form. Excess cholesterol is acquired from cells and transported to the liver for excretion. And HDL also may protect against atherogenesis by mechanism not directly related to reverse cholesterol transport. So anti-inflammatory, antioxidative, and platelet aggregatory, anticoagulant, and profibrinolytic activities. Profibrinolytic activities. So LDL, low density lipoprotein, is atherogenic. They will form plaque in arterial wall. Low density lipoprotein is modified by oxidation and form cell formation, and thereby arterial lesion. They cause arterial lesion. HDL, high density lipoprotein, is a protective, and HDL reverse cholesterol transport. Excess cholesterol is acquired from the cell and transported to the liver for excretion. HDL also may protect against atherogenesis by mechanism not directly related to reverse cholesterol transport. Anti-inflammatory, it acts as HDL is a protective, and it also acts as anti-inflammatory, antioxidative, platelet aggregatory function, anticoagulant function, and profibrinolytic activities. So HDL is a protective cholesterol. Secondary cause of hyperlipidemias. Secondary cause of hyperlipidemias. Secondary causes that contribute to hyperlipidemia include diabetic mellitus, nephrotic syndrome, chronic consumption of alcohol, and use of contraceptive, hypothyroidism, obstructive liver disease, and excessive use of glucocorticoids. These are the causes that contribute hyperlipidemia. And beside improper diet and lack of physical activity also cause hyperlipidemia. Beside this, improper diet and lack of physical activity also cause hyperlipidemia. And some of the drugs also induce hyperlipidemia. They include like thiazide, beta blocker, retinoids, and estrogen. These drugs also induce hyperlipidemia. Okay. Secondary cause that contribute to hyperlipidemias include diabetes mellitus, nephrotic syndrome, chronic consumption of alcohol, and use of contraceptive, and hypothyroidism, obstructive liver disease, and excessive use of glucocorticoid. Beside this, improper diet and lack of physical activity like exercise, walking, everything also cause hyperlipidemia. Drug known to induce hyperlipidemia include thiazide diuretics, beta blockers, retinoids, and estrogens. So hyperlipoproteinemias. Hyperlipoproteinemias can be secondary or primary. Secondary associated with diabetes, mixed edema, nephrotic syndrome, chronic alcoholism, and drug like corticosteroid, contraceptive, beta blockers we have explained in previous slide. And primary due to a single gene defect. Primary due to a single gene defect is a familial and called monogenic or genetic. Hyperlipoproteinemias can be secondary or primary. So secondary associated with some disease and drugs, and primary due to single gene defect. It is familial and called as monogenic or genetic. And multigenetic, dietary and physical activity related causes, polygenic or multifractional. So treatment strategies include lifestyle modification, diet, and restrict intake of saturated fat. Restrict intake of saturated fat, regular exercise, and obesity reduction, and stop smoking and alcoholism, and eat plenty of fruits and vegetables. Eat plenty of fruits and vegetables, and hypolipidemic drugs. Finally, hypolipidemic patient should be, they should change their lifestyle modification, they should change their diets, and they restrict intake of saturated fat. They have to do regular exercise, they have to reduce obesity, they have to stop smoking, they have to stop taking alcohol, and they have to take plenty of fruits. They have to take plenty of fruits and vegetables. This is most important. And after that, they have to take hypolipidemic drugs. So hypolipidemic drugs include fibrates, statins, and regins, and other drugs also include. We'll see in classification. This is the classification of hypolipidemic agents. Anti-hyperlipidemic drugs include HMG-CoA reductase inhibitor, atorvastatin, fluvastatin, lovastatin, pravastatin, and rosuvastatin, simvastatin. These are statins. And fibric acid derivatives are fibrates, fenofibrate, gemfibrozil, clofibrate. And nicotinic acid derivatives are niacin. And resins like bile acid sequestrant, choleselvum, cholestipol, cholestyramine, and cholesterol absorption inhibitor, ezetib. And others are omega-3 fatty acids. These are the classification of the drugs which are used in hypolipidemic patients. And mechanism of action of hypolipidemic drugs. HMG-CoA reductase inhibitor. These are statins. HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors like lovastatin, simvastatin, pravastatin, atorvastatin, and rosuvastatin. These are HMG-CoA reductase inhibitor, and these are called as statins. Their mechanism action is they decrease cholesterol synthesis by inhibiting the rate limiting step catalyzed by HMG-CoA reductase. They catalyzed by, or they inhibit the HMG-CoA reductase enzyme and thereby inhibit the conversion of HMG-CoA to mevalonic acid and mevalonic acid from cholesterol. Okay, so they decrease cholesterol synthesis by inhibiting the rate limiting step. They catalyze it by HMG-CoA reductase inhibitor, and their uses is type 2A, type 2B, and 5 secondary hypercholesterolemia, and bile acid sequence cholestyramine, cholestyramine. These decrease bile acid absorption. These decrease bile acid absorption and increase hepatic conversion of cholesterol to bile acid. They decrease bile acid absorption and increase hepatic conversion of cholesterol to bile acid and increase LDL receptor and hepatocytes and thereby decrease cholesterol. Uses is to decrease LDL cholesterol level in type 2A, type 2B, and 5th to relieve itching of obstructive jaundice in bile salt mediated diarrhea. And fibric acid derivative gemfibrozil 1200 mg, benzafibrate 600 mg. They increase activity of lipoprotein and decrease lipoprotein and decrease lipase release of fatty acid from adipose tissue. They increase activity of lipoprotein and decrease lipase release of fatty acid from adipose tissue. And the uses is in type 3, 4, and 5 hyperlipidemia. And others are nicotinic acid 2 to 6 grams. They are useful in type 3, 4, and 5 hyperlipidemias and pancreatitis, genetic type disorder. So HMG-CoA reductase inhibitor, statin, their mechanism of action, as we have explained in previous slide, the competitive inhibitor of cholesterol synthesis at the rate limiting step. The action is more complicated than simply reducing the amount of cholesterol synthesized. The compensatory induction of LDL receptors means low density lipoprotein and enhanced excretion of circulating LDL cholesterol from serum and synergistic with bile acid binding resins and ezetimibe. HMG-CoA reductase inhibitor pharmacokinetics 30 to 90% oral absorption and 5 to 30% oral bioavailability. They absorb 30 to 90% and their bioavailability is 5 to 30% only. Evening dosing, they should be given in evening only. Liver cholesterol synthesis is greatest between midnight and 2. So statin should be given night only. So maximal effect in 1 month followed by slow regression of plaques as low density lipoprotein is excreted. Most have extensive hepatic metabolism, that is called first pass effect by cytochrome P3A4 and cytochrome P2C9 and excreted in bile and feces with some renal excretion and decrease varies among statin. And the therapeutic effect, plasma LDL by 18 to 55% and slight in high density lipoprotein depending upon the statins and modest action on very low density lipoprotein triglycerides not shown to be of therapeutic benefit. So other cardioprotective effects vasorelaxation, stabilization of plaques and decreased inflammatory and coagulation, decreased LDL oxidation. These are therapeutic effect of statins or HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors. Lovastatin and simvastatin may have estrogenic effect. Lovastatin and simvastatin may have estrogenic effect. 20% reduction in likelihood of cancer, particularly prostate and renal cancer. So adverse effects, liver and muscle function must be monitored throughout treatment. Liver function is especially important. Pravastatin may be better choice in patient with liver disorder because it's renal excretion and birth defects, hyperuricemia and gout. This should not be given in gouty arthritis patient and hyperuricemia patient. Drug interactions are cyclosporin, itraconazole, erythromycin, gemfibrozil, nicotinic acid, Babar, cytochrome P450 inhibitors, warfarin. They should not be given with these drugs. Mild headache and GI disturbances, that is nausea, dyspepsia, diarrhea, and cramps. And statins are contraindicated in patient with hepatic and renal disorder. Statins are contraindicated in patient with hepatic and renal disorder, gouty arthritis patient, diabetic mellitus, and cardiac arrhythmias, and they are contraindicated in pregnant women or pre-pubertal children. So these are the contraindication of statins. So mostly statins are given at night only, as we have explained in previous slide, because hepatic cholesterol synthesis is maximal between midnight to 2 a.m. Okay, that is why statins are given only at night. Statins with half-life of 4 hours or less, except atorvastatin and rosuvastatin. They should be given in the evening only, because hepatic cholesterol synthesis is maximal between midnight. So they should be given night only. Lipid lowering drugs are fibrates. Fibrates stimulate the beta oxidative degradation of fatty acid. Fibric acid derivative like gemfibrozil, cofibrate, fenofibrate, and ciprofibrate. These are fibrate derivatives. They stimulate the beta oxidative degradation. They stimulate beta oxidative degradation of fatty acid and liberate free fatty acid for storage in fat or for metabolism in striated muscle. They stimulate the beta oxidative degradation of fatty acid and they liberate free fatty acid for storage in fat or for metabolism in striated muscle. They increase the activity of lipoprotein lipase. They increase the lipoprotein lipase activity, hence increasing the hydrolysis of triglycerides. In chylomicrons and very low density lipoprotein particles, they stimulate beta oxidative degradation of fatty acid, thereby liberate the fatty acid for storage in fat and metabolism in striated muscle. They increase the activity of lipoprotein lipase. So this lipoprotein lipase, what will do? It will hydrolyze the triglycerides in chylomicrons and VLDL particles, and thereby reduce hepatic very low density lipoprotein production and increase hepatic LDL uptake. And other effect of fibrates are improve glucose tolerance. They inhibit vascular smooth muscle inflammation, and their adverse effects are in patient with renal impairment, myocytes, myoglobinuria, and acute renal failure. Fibrate should be avoided in such patient and also in alcoholics and mild gastrointestinal disturbances. So what are the clinical uses of fibrates? Mixed dyslipidemia, that is raised serum triglycerides and cholesterol, patient with low HDL and high risk of atheromatous disease. Patient with low HDL. HDL is a good cholesterol. So patient with low HDL and high risk of atheromatous disease, often type 2 diabetes patient, and patient with severe treatment resistant dyslipidemia. Patient with severe treatment resistant dyslipidemia combination with other lipid lowering drugs. So lipid lowering drugs, that is bile acid binding resins, cholestyramine, cholestyramine. These are the drugs. Bile acid binding resins, cholestyramine and cholestyramine. They are sequester bile acid in the GIT and prevent their absorption and enterohepatic circulation. These are the sequester bile acid in the gastrointestinal tract and thereby prevent their reabsorption and enterohepatic circulation. The result is decreased absorption of exogenous cholesterol and increased metabolism of endogenous cholesterol into bile acid. So what will happen? There is an increased expression of LDL receptor on the liver cells. Bile acid binding resin, what will they do? They decrease the absorption of exogenous cholesterol and increase metabolism of endogenous cholesterol into bile acid. So what will happen? There is increased expression of LDL receptor on the liver cells. So this will cause increased removal of LDL form to the blood and thereby reduce the concentration of LDL cholesterol in plasma. So bile acid binding resins are cholestyramine, cholestyramine. These are anion exchange resins. These are anion exchange resins. Their clinical use is heterozygous familial hypercholesterolemia and addition to statin if response has been inadequate, and hypercholesterolemia when a statin is contraindicated, and uses are unrelated to atherosclerosis, including pruritus in patient with partial biliary obstruction, bile acid diarrhea, that is diabetic nephropathy. So adverse effects of bile acid binding resins. GIT symptoms are nausea, abdominal bloating, constipation, diarrhea, and resins are unappetizing. This can be minimized by suspending them in fruit juice, interfere with the absorption of fat soluble vitamins and drugs like chlorothiazide, digoxin, and warfarin. These drugs should be given at least 1 hour before or 4 to 6 hours after resins. And pharmacokinetics of resins. These are dry, gritty powders suspended in fluid taken just before or with meals. Oral administration is excreted in feces and frequently prescribed in combination with other agents due to synergistic effect. These are prescribed in combination with other drugs due to synergistic effect. They show more effect when given with other drugs. And other lipid lowering drugs are nicotinic acid. It inhibits hepatic triglyceride production and very low density lipoprotein. Very low density lipoprotein secretion. Nicotinic acid inhibit hepatic triglyceride production and VLDL secretion. So what will happen? Modest reduction in LDL level, low density lipoprotein level, and increase in HDL levels. They inhibit hepatic triglyceride production and VLDL secretion, and thereby reduction in the LDL level and increase HDL level. Their adverse effects are flushing, palpitation, and GIT disturbances. Others are fish oil. Fish oil is rich in highly unsaturated fatty acid. and they contain omega-3 fatty acid and marine triglycerides. They reduce plasma triglyceride but increase cholesterol. So cholesterol is most strongly associated with coronary artery disease. The effect on cardiac morbidity or mortality is unproven. Although there is a epidemiological evidences that eating fish regularly does not reduce ischemic heart disease. Okay. So what is the conclusion? Nowadays, hyperlipidemic drugs are widely used to treat hyperlipidemia and obesity. So there is an necessity to develop new formulation without more adverse effects. Nowadays, hypolipidemic drugs are widely used to treat hyperlipidemia and obesity. So there is a necessity to develop new formulation without more adverse effects. Thank you all.